Welcome. For today, we have Dr. Amitabh Chak, Professor of Medicine at the University Hospitals of Cleveland. Welcome, Dr. Chak.
Thanks, Linda, for the opportunity.
Thank you. For today, we'll talk about the editorial board top 10 topics, advances in GI endoscopy in 2018. Dr. Chak is the chair of the editorial board of GI Endoscopy. Dr. Chak, can you tell the audience about the role of the editorial board and what brought this about?
So the editorial board is one of the committees that ASG has. Our primary role is to look at the journal and help the associate editors and editors in terms of improving the quality of the journal, reviewing the journal, make sure the journal is meeting the highest standards we can. We also serve as guest editors for the associate editors, so there's no bias whatsoever in the journal as articles are submitted by associate editors. In that role, we do review a lot of the endoscopy literature and the journal itself. We look at every issue of the journal. So a couple of years ago, we realized that we were becoming somewhat of, dare I claim, an authority on what's contained within the journal. And we thought it might help if we tried to extract what's in the journal and in other journals in endoscopy and make it a very condensed, abridged, Cliff's Notes version of what's going on in endoscopy every year. And so we started this effort 2 years ago, and this is our second effort at putting together what we consider top 10 advances in GI endoscopy.
I must say it's very informative and a very nice, easy read, and I congratulate you for this. Can you tell the audience about the process of how the editorial board chose these?
Sure. So we try to do this quickly so it's timely. Starting in the fall, when about 9 months of articles are published in journals, we start looking at everything that's published in major medical journals and major GI journals. We then send those articles out to all our members, and each individual member, without any discussion between the committee, will choose what they consider the top 10 areas of investigation during that current year. What's hot, what's important, where there have been major advances. And then we take everyone's top 10 list and we compile it and combine it and see which areas are getting the most votes. And then we meet again, and by the end of the year, we refine that down to 10 areas that we think are the most important for that given year. And then those topics are assigned to each board member depending on their interest and specialty. And the committee member then extensively goes into that area, not just in the journals we've reviewed, but they also look at other journals and use their own expertise to synthesize and make it easy for our readership to understand what major advances there have been in that area, and also what those advances, what the gaps are, so what research needs to be performed. And we try to summarize it in, like I said, a Cliff's Note in a couple of paragraphs, so you just get the bullet points of what has occurred and what you need to know. The great thing about this is it helps not just the readership, but it also helps the society in terms of our educational efforts. We know which areas we need to emphasize in training other people. It helps the research committee in that the research committee can identify areas for research that need to be funded. and it helps the training committees too.
Very good. So we can look at these, the more common or the most agreement in the
Yeah.
editorial board. First, of course, is methods to increase adenoma detection rate.
Yeah, so the top 10, so we started this 1 year ago. It was a fair amount of hard work, but the committee members really liked doing it, and we were happy with the product, and we got a good feedback from our board members and from our readership that they really liked seeing this type of summary, and it helped them know what reading they needed to do, what they might have missed during the year. And we weren't sure how sustainable it would be and how things would change year to year. Well, we found this year that there are some areas that are very important, as you would expect in colonoscopy: detection rate, Barrett's esophagus, some aspect of Barrett's esophagus. Every year there's research being done on it. Endoscopic intervention in the US field with metal stents or necrosectomy. It remains a hot area of investigation. But then there's some new areas that popped up this year. Bariatric surgery suddenly popped to the second on the list because bariatric surgery is making major advances. Artificial intelligence, we hadn't seen before. Artificial intelligence is now the nice, hot new topic. And there were a number of publications on it, so we selected those and highlighted some of those. Full thickness resection, we've been talking about EMR, ESD, but this year full thickness resection is suddenly coming into the forefront in research. And as I looked at, disinfection, of course, has become important. So it re-emphasizes what happened during the previous year, and we'll see how it changes in this coming year.
Very nice. These are all interesting, and we're at the cusp of interesting things ahead of us. Any future direction, Amitabh, on this?
I think the future direction very much depends on the innovation of our endoscopic community. Endoscopy is constantly evolving, constantly innovating. You never know what the new innovation is, invention is on the horizon. I'm sure there's some endoscopist out there who has the next great thing, and we look forward to seeing it and putting it in GIE.
Thank you. Thank you very much.